In the end, we all serve the Legion.
When the Burning Legion arrived on Argus and offered the three Eredar leaders a chance at unimaginable power, the prophet Velen foresaw what would become of his people. He gathered those who would follow him and fled the planet with the help of the Naaru. Kil'jaeden, one of the transformed Eredar leaders, took this as an act of betrayal and became enraged. For centuries he pursued Velen and his Draenei across the cosmos, always 2 steps behind his old kin. Kyurei, the Naaru pilot of the interdimensional ship the Draenei had made their escape on, eventually grew ill, and was forced to crash its ship on the planet Draenor. There the Draenei made their home, and lived in relative peace with the native Orc tribes for some 200 years. For a time they were free of the Burning Legion's menace. But Kil'jaeden was stubborn, and set his servant Talgath in charge of searching for signs of the Draenei's presence. The fallen Eredar eventually stumbled upon Draenor, and discovered the Draenei settlements. Kil'jaeden, more a cunning deceiver than a warrior, took advantage of the planet's native race. He took the guise of an Orcish ancestor and spoke with the leaders of the Orcish tribes, urging them to go to war with the Draenei. Soon, their genocide would be complete. Ner'zhul, chieftain of the Shadowmoon clan and the spiritual leader of the Orcish clans, led the Orcs in a war against the Draenei. His apprentice, a promising young shaman named Gul'dan, supported his leader's choice, but when Ner'zhul began to notice an inability to contact Draenor's spirits, he traveled to the mountain Oshu'gun, the ruins of the Naaru's crashed interdimensional ship, for guidance. There, he learned of Kil'jaeden's deception and left Oshu'gun with the intent of ending the war. He was followed, however. Gul'dan realized the potential for power in choosing Kil'jaeden over Ner'zhul, and rushed to the Eredar to betray Ner'zhul's change of heart. Kil'jaeden rewarded Gul'dan with an offer. Kil'jaeden would teach Gul'dan the powerful magics of a warlock, if Gul'dan united the Orcish clans into an unstoppable horde. Gul'dan took up the challenge and created the Shadow Council, a group of warlocks and necrolytes bent on manipulating the Orc clans. During the elections to replace Ner'zhul's position as war chief, Gul'dan made sure that Blackhand, chieftain of the Blackrock clan and a member of the Shadow Council, was chosen, a puppet for Gul'dan to control. Gul'dan and the council gathered the chieftains and convinced them to drink of the blood of the Pit Lord Manaroth. Few refused to drink the blood, including Orgrim Doomhammer and Durotan's Frostwolf clan. The rest became an unstoppable horde under Gul'dan's control. Now armed with a frenzied army of bloodthirsty killers loyal to the Legion, Gul'dan and the council led the horde on a massacre of the Draenei, slaughtering any they could find. Only a handful of Draenei escaped the Orcs' carnage. One of the captured Draenei was bred with one of Gul'dan's Orc warriors, resulting in a half-breed girl. Gul'dan tortured the girl and aged her artificially using his fell magics, shaping her into a tool for the Shadow Council. Gul'dan wouldn't suspect that Garona Half-Orcan would later become integral to the downfall of the Shadow Council. Witnessing the near extinction of his traitorous kin, Kil'jaeden deemed the Orcs ready for a new challenge. Once again, Gul'dan was manipulated using the promise of power. Sargeras, under the guise of Medivh, contacted Gul'dan and promised him godlike powers. If Gul'dan led a savage horde across Azeroth and conquered the planet for the Legion, then Sargeras would give him the powers locked away in the Tome of Sargeras. Gul'dan accepted the challenge, and the Dark Portal was opened. Gul'dan's horde stormed across Azeroth. He continued to manipulate the Orc chieftains, convincing Grom Hellscream and the Warsong clan to remain on Draenor, and ordering the death of Durotan. He even created his own Orc clan, the Stormreaver clan. All was going perfectly for Gul'dan, as his armies crushed the might of Stormwind. However, Medivh's role in opening the Dark Portal was discovered by his young apprentice, Khadgar. Khadgar and the human champion Anduin Lothar ventured to Medivh's seat of power, Karazhan, with the intent on bringing the sorcerer to justice. Gul'dan learned of the threat to Medivh and quickly invaded Medivh's mind in an attempt to learn the location of the promised Tome of Sargeras. Medivh was killed while Gul'dan was still searching, however, and the shock forced Gul'dan into a coma. With Gul'dan incapacitated, Orgrim Doomhammer, one of the few orcs to refuse drinking the blood of Manaroth, took the opportunity to take control of the Horde. He slew Blackhand and took the role of war chief for himself, and after learning that Garona Half-Orcan had assassinated Stormwind's king under orders from the Shadow Council, he captured Garona and tortured her for the identities and locations of the various members of the Shadow Council. One by one, he destroyed the Shadow Council, and took the reins of the Horde out of the devious hands of Gul'dan. When Gul'dan awoke, Doomhammer approached him with his treachery. He spared Gul'dan's life, and even let him and his Stormreaver clan rule the ruins of Stormwind, in exchange for the names of those most loyal to Blackhand. Gul'dan told Doomhammer that Rend and Maim, Blackhand's sons, were planning a coup to take back the Warchief title for the Blackrock clan. Gul'dan then proved his loyalty to Doomhammer by creating the famed Death Knights, using his necrolytes and their necromantic powers. He convinced Doomhammer that his new Death Knights were loyal only to the Warchief, but of course, their true loyalty lay with Gul'dan. The Tome of Sargeras was still at the forefront of Gul'dan's mind. He waited until the Horde's final attack on the kingdom of Lordaeron before taking the orcs loyal to him and setting out in search of Sargeras' power. Doomhammer, whose armies were suddenly cut in half, was forced to retreat from his assault and hunt down Gul'dan, vowing to bring the orc to justice. Gul'dan, however, was doomed from the start. He raised the Tome of Sargeras from the bottom of the sea and entered in search of the Eye of Sargeras. Instead, he found the insane demons drawn to the remnants of Sargeras' power. The demons tore Gul'dan to shreds, but not before Gul'dan realized that in the end, he was the pawn. His careful manipulations had only been moves on a far grander playing field. The remainder of Gul'dan's forces were slaughtered on the shores of the Broken Isles, ending the Second War and the Warlock's treachery. The Warlock's fell magic remained, however, entombed within his skull. His spirit whispered to whomever held the skull. Its magics were used by Ner'zhul to open multiple dark portals on Draenor, which led to its shattering. It was used by Khadgar to destroy the dark portal, and by demons in the corruption of Fel Wood. Eventually, it was found by the Night Elf Illidan, who absorbed its power and became half-elf, half-demon. This, however, was not the end of Gul'dan's story. When Garrosh Hellscream opened a portal to an alternate Draenor, he stopped an alternate Gul'dan from offering the blood of Manaroth to the Orc clans. Grom Hellscream took Gul'dan and his servants, Cho'Gall and Tarangor, captive and used them to open the portal to Azeroth, with a plan to invade Azeroth with the Iron Horde. Heroes from Azeroth fought back against the Iron Horde and entered the Dark Portal. They closed the portal by freeing Gul'dan and cutting off the energy powering the massive portal. He immediately set to work across Draenor, manipulating events and avoiding his pursuers. After Garrosh fell to Thrall in Mok Garath, Gul'dan reapproached Grom and again made his offer. Though Grom turned him down, other members of the Iron Horde, beginning with Kilrogg Deadeye, stepped up to accept the demonic corruption, giving Gul'dan full control of the Iron Horde. In Tanaan Jungle, Gul'dan forced Grom to watch as he unleashed the blood of Manaroth across the landscape. Within the Iron Citadel, now aptly renamed the Hellfire Citadel, Gul'dan resurrected Manaroth and summoned the Eredar Archimonde through the Black Gate. When the heroes of Azeroth and Draenor successfully took down Archimonde, the Eredar sends Gul'dan back through the Black Gate, destroying it in the process. The chance to end Gul'dan's terror is lost once more. It is on our Azeroth that Gul'dan arrives, and he arrives with a mission. Seek out the Tome of Sargeras and open the way for the Burning Legion. Assist the Legion in finally destroying Azeroth once and for all. To that end, Gul'dan seeks out Illidan's corpse, the body that had absorbed the skull of another Gul'dan. His plans for the Old Night Elf remain a mystery. He later serves as an ambassador for the Suramar Palace between the Nightborn and the invading Burning Legion, where he will, once again, face the heroes of Azeroth. Gul'dan is one of the key figures in Azeroth's history, a great catalyst in many of the events and wars over the past decades. But for Gul'dan, cunning and power only take you so far when there are more cunning and more powerful beings pulling the strings.